Hi everyone. Hi everyone. We
Hello.
are here with none other than Miss Farha Syed. And Farha owns her own interior design firm located in Cary. And I'm going to have her say a few things about her business, how she started it, and then we can start the segment. So Farha, take it away.
Sure. Well, I started uh, after my mom passed, and she's the one who basically had me. Uh, you know, she found that gift in me, I think, and she gave it a little push, and I realized that this is a gift, and I should probably, avail it and pursue it. So, I uh, took up my course and I started working on it, and it was after her passing I just formed my company, and luckily I right after forming it, I had a client, a friend, and I worked with her and turned out really great. So that was the start of.
So that's
back in
how
2013.
Farha Syed Designs was born?
Yeah, that's how it was born, and there was a lot of learning on the way in terms of learning the business and everything. So all of these things, have brought me to the place where I think I am in a better position to help clients, uh, you know, get the house of their dreams. I wouldn't say it that way, but like give more character and personality
Right,
to a cookie cutter sort of a place. So
right.
that's
So,
what
Sai,
it
how
is.
long have you been in business?
I started back in 2013.
2013?
So, and over the years since then, this course, projects here and there, small
Right.
projects and things like that. I availed staging in the process and things like that. So, and it was a nice journey. Lots of stuff to learn. And that's where I'm at.
Okay, so today, guys, as promised, we are going to be discussing a very touchy subject.
Very.
I would like to say it's very touchy. But just the common consumer notion that design services are a wasteful expense, and that designers simply select paints and fabrics. Let's give a fact check here, Farha.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's do it. So concerning interior design as a serious profession
Mm-hmm.
versus a light-hearted hobby. Because a lot of times people think that this is a
Yeah.
hobby. They do not consider
Exactly.
it
And they
our
don't-
business.
just for that reason, they don't take us as seriously as they would any other profession. I have no idea why that is so, but they don't give you that much. Oh, that's nice, but then when it comes to doing stuff, they'll just go ahead and try taking things on themselves.
So
And
what would you
disaster,
say as an
occurs.
established designer?
Mhm.
Let's get down to business, right? So as an established designer, do you agree that this is a common idea regarding the design industry? Why or why not?
not like those who are established, they've they're those designers, they've made it clear to their clients, and uh, they've established themselves as a serious business, and they don't, they're no nonsense. They don't like to take things unseriously. They do make sure that all of their things are met, and people understand what it is that they are going to be offering them and what it is that they're delivering them. So I guess it's just a matter of how we present ourselves, I guess. That probably
So
makes a
on
difference,
so
I
so on
guess.
that note, I'm gonna ask you, designer to designer,
Mhm.
right? Because I think you're an awesome designer. You've been in business for 6 years,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Have you had any experience where you have had consumers the misconception that hey, why am I paying you this amount of money and you're not even
Yeah.
a professional? You don't even have, because I gotta tell you,
people don't have that.
Consumers think because you don't have an office space, right? You don't have that physical location. This is just a hobby. This could not be a professional business.
Yeah, and then.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I totally do.
But that's not the case.
That's not the case. And so many established designers work out of their home too. So I mean, I don't see why that notion came up in the first place. And it's also to some extent a matter of respect for the profession. There's not much when it comes to, not much respect. In the sense, I haven't felt it that way. People say, okay, yeah, they like it. That's cool that you do it and everything. But that whole, it's a fun thing that, you get to pick fabrics and stuff. Like, it's just not.
It is fun, by the way.
It is fun, but the back end is a lot of, hard work, making sure all of the logistics are falling in place. So
Absolutely.
It looks effortless.
Absolutely.
So
So would you consider this a misconception or a grounded truth?
A little bit of both, I believe.
You think so?
A little bit of both.
You think it's on the border?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because those, as I said, those who have established themselves and set those boundaries, they don't seem to have any problems. It's just we who are teeter-tottering on that
Right.
is like
So I
understand.
I fully understand. I get what you're saying now, because the established designer who has a brick and mortar has no issue with presenting themselves as a professional than a designer who has a business running from out of their home.
Yeah.
But you know what? As we touch on that, there are so many professionals that work out of their home. Do you know that?
Yeah.
I have many clients, professional clients, that work from home. So I like to think it's a misconception, because I think honestly that people like to believe what they like to believe. And like you said, it's up to us as professionals to present ourselves in that way.
Exactly.
Right?
Right.
Because when I go to a consultation, or when I have a potential client that reach out to me, I am upfront and person with that client or that consumer, letting them know exactly how my business runs. And not that I don't respect everyone else's business, because we all are designers, we all are in the same area, we all, working and striving to do well. But I may not run my business how you might run your business.
Exactly.
Right?
The difference of processes and things.
Absolutely.
Exactly, yeah.
So for me, I think it's a misconception. I think it's just sometimes we love to put labels on things as consumers, as myself, as a consumer. We love to put labels on things. If this person don't have a physical place that I can come in, an office or whatever, that to me is not a business. That's just a misconception. They're successful businesses that are run out of their homes.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Right?
I agree.
Do you have anything else to add to that? Would you like to add anything to that?
No.
But do you feel, in your heart of hearts, do you feel that it's justifiable, though, that consumers are dubbing interior designers as a hobby? Do you?
I don't think so. That's unfair.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Yeah.
It is.
Definitely.
So So how do you think that they should look at someone like you who have your own business, who have a business that is successful for 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
You've been in business.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're doing something right,
Yeah.
and you're working out of your home.
True.
So that's what I'm saying. How would you want consumers to approach or to?
I guess when it comes to understanding who I am, they need to like at least give me a chance with the consultation where they get to know me. And when I speak and I give them those ideas, that they understand my level of knowledge in the subject area, in that space, they'll understand that, you know, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I know that, say this wants a certain look and it's probably not going to look right.
Right.
I can give my professional opinion and say, okay, we can have it this way and still be able to give the feel that you're looking for. I mean, it's they need to would respect
All right.
and trust that
Right.
what I'm saying is
Right. So on that
coming from-
subtopic,
Mhm.
respect,
Mhm.
it's big for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I understand. Yeah.
And if you were to put yourself in a consumer's place, right? We all are consumers,
Mhm.
believe it or not. We all
Right.
are. Even though we have our own business and we are professionals, we are consumers,
Right.
right?
Right.
So if you walked into one of our local stores as a
Mhm.
consumer
Mhm.
to purchase,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
And you, let's say, a big establishment, great big, have the space, the the presentation is through the roof. You go in there and you feel like, wow, I can really shop at this place.
Mhm.
But then you go into a small brick and mortar, somebody who's just small business,
Right.
right? May not have a lot to present,
Right.
right? But they started this business based on the passion, based on
Exactly.
what they love, based on, the integrity of working with people and all of that.
Mhm.
But they can't present as this big
Mhm.
established place.
Right. And then I guess
How and you go in and you walk into the big place and then you walk into the small place. Would you view that smaller place as not being a professional?
no, I wouldn't do that because I would
As a consumer, how would
yeah,
you?
I would see how they would interact. I would see their passion in what they're trying to work at, and then what they're trying to present to me, and I'm pretty good at.
So what
understanding
Farha is
that.
basically saying is if consumers just give her a chance, right? The fact is, we stop at most consumers,
Mhm.
we know, stop at the consultation.
Yeah.
Once they do that initial phone call, they talk to you,
Right.
and you hear, hey, you got to pay for the consultation. You kind of like pause, right?
Okay, I'll get back to you.
Right, right.
And that's
So
pretty much it.
the point you're trying to make here is, given the chance and the opportunity,
Mhm.
they can see exactly what you have to offer,
Exactly.
even being a small business owner.
True.
And you actually can have a bigger impact than a big interior design firm.
I believe so too. Yeah.
Right. And your passion,
Mhm.
your love for design,
Mhm.
it just shows through your work.
Yeah, I believe so.
So to be back on this question here that we have, and I know this is like the reason why we wanted to have this conversation is because we have a lot of our professionals who are struggling in this area,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And they're honestly struggling because we are judged before we are even given a chance to
Exactly.
prove ourselves.
Yeah. They judge the book before they even open it. that kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah.
What would you say to a potential customer or consumer who might be struggling in the same way of who to use, what designer to, reach out to? They see you and they see somebody else who.
Mm-hmm. Well, once you speak to me and you feel that I have briefly laid out what I would be doing when we meet, have me come in and take that chance, take that investment, and get to know me and see what I know, and then judge me and see.
Have you ever experienced that though within your community? Have you ever had that experience?
To some extent, yeah.
Yes.
And the problem lies where when they feel that when I say interior designer, they confuse that with the interior decorator, and
what is the
Oh,
difference? What is the difference?
I don't even want to go in there.
So let us know what the difference, because for the viewers, right? Someone might be looking at this today, and they might come across this topic, and that might be their you know what I'm saying? This might be the issue that they're dealing with. They don't know. Like this segment, when I started this segment was started based on educating our consumers, because I strongly believe, that's just me, that they don't know. Some people do not really know how we operate. Exactly. And when I started this segment, I really wanted to reach out to that group of people, right?
Yeah.
That maybe they're struggling to even pull the trigger to call or to contact a designer because they feel, hey, you know what, it's too expensive,
Exactly.
So that's what this is, to get back onto this whole thing about interior designer, interior decorator. Please explain.
A lot of the times, just an example where people are trying to look for kitchen countertops or cabinet colors or backsplash options and things like that. They're searching everywhere but asking people who really know what they're talking about.
Okay.
And it's even at saying, okay, this is what I do and I can help you, then it comes down to that point where the moment I mention the fee, they're like, oh, okay, let me get back to you, and then,
How does that make you feel?
One side of me says, well, they're probably not my clients, or they're,
Pulling
not
back.
ready to take that investment and put it in their house. They're probably not my clients. But at this other hand, I am a little disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, I was there. I mean, I haven't totally gotten out of it, but I've been there where when I first started my design company in North Carolina, this was a new place for me.
Yeah.
So of course I started out of my apartment. Where would I start?
Right.
And I don't think I got that pushback from people. I think I got it from myself. I think I was more harder on myself to show that upfront professional office space. And I'm just saying everyone is different. That's just me. I don't think I got people saying, well, I used to meet people at Panera Bread, at all these different Starbucks, and we would meet to chat, and or I would meet clients in their homes when I first came. But I think what it is too, Farha, I think a strong presentation online is so important if we don't have a brick and mortar. Every job that we do, it's important for us to post it.
True.
And as designers, we fail to do that because we're so busy. We get caught up into the busyness of our career. Yesterday I did not sleep. I'm working on a client's house right now, and I did not sleep. I went all night.
Wow.
And sometimes you could get so busy that you forget that you need to present Farha Syed designs up front in person for people to see, because I gotta tell you, people are very visual.
True.
They are visual beings. And although I can sit and say, hey, I'm the interior designer for you, you will never regret using me as your interior designer, because man, I got what it takes. I could sit down and tell my consumer that till thy kingdom come. But if I don't have the work to present to back up what I'm saying, that kind of tends to stop them right there.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? So I think for me, I was really harder on myself than a consumer. I've never had that interaction with someone looking at me in that way, but I have heard of it.
Right.
I've heard many designers say it.
Right. And I mean, those who I've worked with, they loved what I did for them.
Right.
And in many cases, they were like, wow, you exceeded our limit expectation. I wasn't expecting this level of service, or I love how you handled this way and how you implemented it in this way. So
Right.
it's thankfully I haven't had any negative remarks on that. So that's a
Trust me, I've interacted with you. We've met through a mutual friend, and I have interacted with you on several occasions, and I know you're very professional in what you do. I know you do great work. It's amazing to see how people grow over the time and the years, and what, you know, because we can, when we look back and we reflect on where we started, and we reflect, we see where we have grown, right?
Yeah.
And every day for us is a learning experience as well.
True.
Because we have to change with the trend. We have to, you know, always update our skills.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to always educate ourselves, right?
Before we can present to.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that means going to, you know, taking classes, you know,
Exactly.
maybe a workshop here, a workshop there, just
Right.
making sure, even motivational, you know, conferences or
Conferences, exactly.
videos or all of that, you know, just to keep our skill set intact.
Oh, definitely.
Right. And of course, I don't know for you, and like I said, I can only speak for myself. For me, I always need to like
Get it.
I always need to check myself, right? Because when you look at the industry that we're in, there's tons of designers. There's a lot of designers,
Oh yeah.
and like I said, I think we all do beautiful work. Not every client is not going to be my client,
Of course.
right? As well as every client is not going to be your client, right? Some people might choose to work with you than
Right.
work with me, and that's fine.
And that's totally fine.
Right.
Yeah.
We all bring such a great, you know, I say a great package, a great sense of style to the table, right?
Yeah.
So is there a style that you would say, like something Farha Syed designs focus on? Is there a main style, or can you design around just anyone? If someone was to come to Farha Syed's
My personal style is eclectic, so it's a mix of different styles, and
Right.
then you know, when it's just either or, I think it shouldn't. I don't think it's anything hard for me to accomplish.
Okay.
I can do a traditional. I can do a transitional, which is a nice combination of modern and traditional. And I can go contemporary as my mom's style was, and she had designed some really beautiful pieces, which somewhat inspired me from as I was growing up. So I mean, a whole range of design styles that I can work with.
So you
not
you,
limited to anything.
Okay,
just
so
in
you
particular,
basically
yeah.
design for people.
Exactly,
Right.
and I determine what it is that they like, and a lot of the times they don't quite know what their style is,
Right.
and then I, walk them through it and show them different styles of sofas or chairs, and I determine, okay, this is what your style is. This is, or if I get a free rein, which I got in one, I think, which is rare. So that's where I try to, bring in.
So how does your skill set make you a valuable asset to your industry?
I mean, every designer has their own strong suit.
Mm-hmm.
Mine, I believe, would be if I look at a space, I start visualizing it in my head. It's like, okay, this is something that could be done this way or that way, and maybe this sort of art piece would have looked better here, or this type of chair would have looked nice in this corner. I mean, things like that, and I have that skill set where I can look at a space and make it. I can visualize it before I even, lift a finger to start the project.
Yeah, we have that.
Thankfully.
That's our superpower.
Yeah.
We can actually see the end before the beginning.
Mm-hmm. So.
So
yeah,
would you think though that your skill set would be a valuable asset in this industry as an interior designer?
I believe so, and this trait could be it is in a lot of designers, which is why they are designers.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone has a different way of looking at the space.
Right.
We both could be in the same space, and we could totally do it differently.
Right.
So that's their gift. That's our gift.
Right.
Which is unique.
Right.
And that's what we bring to the table.
Right.
So yeah.
So I honestly believe that yes, our skills are an asset to our industry, because I have found that one of the greatest issue that consumers face is that they know how to purchase a furniture piece. They know how to purchase a coffee table. They know how to purchase an accent chair, maybe even a chandelier, but they really don't know how to pull it together.
True, I agree.
Right? So most of the times when I do get a consumer or potential client, that is always the problem. Man, I know what I want, but I don't know how to pull that together.
Right.
Right? So that's where we come in.
Exactly.
As professionals.
Exactly. To make it all come together and
cohesive
and the way it's supposed. We call it intentional, but it seems like for the client's perspective, it could be, oh wow, it's just a unique space.
Right.
And because we design around their lifestyle.
Right.
It is unique to them, and I don't know about everybody else, but when I'm using any of the pieces, I try not to repeat them in any other space.
Okay.
To keep that uniqueness for that client.
So any other space within the same home, or any other space with different homes?
Projects.
Okay.
So I would try.
So you would try. What if a consumer or client? What if your client requests that piece?
Then that's a different story.
Okay.
But like in terms of, it's more in the accessorizing and art selection and things like that, where it's going to be very unique.
The icing on the cake kind
Yeah.
of thing.
just to suit their tastes specifically. Right. And
yes.
Yeah.
So, do you think that we as designers should? What is your opinion? Do you think we should demand that respect from our community?
I think that should be, I'm not sure if I'm not quite sure what you mean by demand. I believe that we should respect every profession for what it is.
Well, what you believe and what really exists
Is different, I know.
is two different things,
Two different
right?
things, yes.
Because I think everyone in their profession should demand respect to some certain level,
Mhm.
right? Because if we don't,
Mhm.
we will always allow people to treat us the way that they see us.
True.
So we have to demand that respect.
Mhm. Yeah.
You would agree?
Mhm.
So, would you say, because I just have to go back because I have experience with you, I seem to be, it's a passion for me when it comes to designers. I don't ever feel that you and I cannot work in the same room.
Mhm.
I do not ever feel that you're a threat to me.
Mhm.
I never feel that any designers are
Yeah, I
a
don't
threat
think-
to me at all. I really think we all can work together.
I believe so too.
Right.
Because everyone brings their own uniqueness to that project, and makes it look better.
So what are some of the expertise that you or your team provide beyond selecting paints and fabrics? What are some of the expertise?
One part from all of that was the part, I don't have a team, but for myself, I would say the whole envisioning the space, the final product, before it even starts, looking at the space, understanding what the client's expectations are.
Walk me through your process.
Um,
So, walk me through the process of when you have a consultation with a client
Mhm.
and you sit with them and you move to the next phase, which contract is signed, and then now you have the presentation part of it,
mhm.
your design presentation. Walk me through Farha Syed Designs process.
So once I've at the presentation, I would have everything for them to look at, touch, and feel. And
Everything?
fabrics,
Rug
everything.
swatches,
Everything.
fabrics,
Everything.
paint
yeah.
color,
Yeah.
everything. Not
Everything.
large pieces, but the pieces that, not the large furniture pieces.
Not
They
the
would-
large
yeah.
furniture pieces.
So
but-
so the fabrics, the swatches, the paint
Exactly.
colors. Okay.
Right. And then like a whole overall floor plan, 3D renderings of the space as to what it's going to look like,
Okay.
so that they can visualize what their space is going to look like.
Okay.
And that's basically what it is. And then they get.
So how do you present that? Do you first do your measurement? How does the process work? Like
Presentation is pretty much the last step before we commence the project.
okay.
Beforehand, like at the when we sign the contract at the
You do the
consultation,
measurements.
I have I have my team, gathered. They get the measurements. I get the measurements, and then we take pictures of different architectural negative spaces and positive, and see
Okay.
how we can work with them, and problem areas for sure, and then come up with a solution with my trades, as well as work on it myself as well, at the office. And then when I have gathered all of these prices from all different vendors, all different sources that I've sourced that I think would work in this space, then comes the presentation. That's what I'm presenting. They get a complete budget with labor costs to finish the project, and they understand what it is, what it's going to take for them to
So for a potential client or consumer listening,
Mhm.
right? Because this is your opportunity to break down
Mhm.
how your process starts from beginning to end.
Mhm.
If they were interested in reaching out
Mhm.
to get any information about your services, in your own words, how would you describe your profession to someone? And maybe, know all that entails. Like, explain to them from the beginning, like when they reach out, they go on. Because I know everyone runs their business differently online.
Mhm.
Some people have where they have to pay the consult online. They don't do the 30-minute initial phone call just to discuss anything.
Mhm.
They go right in through that process of the consultation,
Right.
and then they set up that.
Right.
Okay, so Farha Syed designs explain from beginning till end. So someone who's watching or listening who may not be aware of what your package entails or what your business details are, I want you to walk them through that, so someone, if they're looking to contact you, can actually get an idea of what they can do.
And then this is all laid out on my website as well as to how I work.
Yeah.
But then I'll explain it so that it sometimes listening to it makes it easier. I do take phone calls because that's how they reach me. And
Okay.
they find me through referrals or just online.
Do you
I answer.
minimize, or do you give them a time frame of that phone call? Do you say, if someone reaches out to you, I was referred to Farha, and I pick up the phone and I call, and I leave a message and you call me back, and do you limit that time? Do you say, okay, you get a 33-minute phone call or hour, we can talk? How long does that?
I haven't limited that to because that gives me more insight into what they're looking for
Okay.
and what to understand them better. I don't limit that time,
Okay.
and usually it ends within the 30-minute mark, but I don't put a limit on it.
Okay.
And then once they agree to, uh, pay book their consultation and have that payment taken care of, then I meet them. We go over my letter of agreement and basically telling them the whole process again, and in detail, line by line, answering any questions that they may have regarding it. And once we both come to an agreement, we sign the contract, and then we go forward, where I collect my fee for collecting all of the information up until the presentation. And
So what you collect all the fees up until the presentation. What fee is that?
the design fee.
The design fee.
Mhm.
So your design fee is paid
Mm-hmm.
upfront before your consultation,
And-
before the design presentation.
Yes.
Okay.
And I do that in two different installments. Half of it is at that time.
50%
50% to
before design presentation, after the contract is signed.
right,
50% upfront.
right,
Mhm.
and then 50% at the presentation,
Okay.
and then that's at the presentation when everything is approved.
Mm-hmm.
That is when I collect the, and because I have all of those prices for them, they give me the sum of money for purchasing.
Okay, so
Making-
that's when you do the spendable
Basically.
budget.
Exactly.
Right. So how much percentage of the spendable budget do you collect at the time of design presentation?
I do 100%.
100%?
Only because, when they're going to a retail store, they're paying 100% right there.
So you do 100% upfront
Mm-hmm.
when that design presentation is due.
Mm-hmm.
When you do the
When they have
presentation,
approved
when they're
everything after all revisions that I have put in, in the package, which is 2 revisions that
Mhm.
I allow them. After that, after the final revision is done, that is when I, collect it and then move forward. And that's-
So that happens, they write you a check for the
Mhm.
full amount of
The merchandise.
the spendable budget, the
Right.
merchandise, and then what happens after that?
Then I place, I don't place the orders just then. I have my team come in and they start, doing the paints, get the painting out of the way, and then, once that is done, I start ordering drapes and everything.
Okay.
And then, moving forward, I install, at the installation, I install drapes first, and then the furniture comes in through white delivery, which is what I use
Okay.
with companies. Yeah.
All right.
Then the presentation, and I prefer to take photographs before
Mhm.
presenting it. I don't release them online until I have presented, the client their space.
Okay.
But because it is already staged for them to look at, I would like to do it where, it's completely ready.
Okay. So when all items come in,
Mm-hmm.
how much visit? How many site visits do you do to the client's house while this is happening? So you order the furniture pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Now the next step is waiting for these pieces to come in.
Right.
What happens during that process while you're waiting for the goods to come in?
I'm sorry. I am making sure that they are on time
Okay.
and keeping the
Track of.
client aware of
Okay.
where we are on the timeline, and if there are any delays or any replacements that they would like, if it's an outrageous timeline for it to come, then we come up with a replacement piece.
So while that is happening, do you get your painter in there if it needs paint? Electrician in there if it needs that, or
all of
anything
these.
else? So that happens during the time of waiting
Exactly.
for the furniture pieces.
Right.
So when does the install happen? Like when?
When all pieces
When-
are ready at the receivers,
Okay.
and they have notified me that every piece is there that you had ordered, I have them shipped. The day they ship is basically when, we do it.
Okay. So if me being a consumer, I become a client,
Mm-hmm.
and I ask you, I said, Farha, I know that you have your dealers.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you work with different places, but there's somewhere that I see some furniture pieces that I really love, and I would love to incorporate it in my space.
Mm-hmm.
Could we order from the store that I love, or do I have to order from you?
This would happen hopefully at the time of presentation or before.
Right.
And this is when, then I would have to come up with a plan that would incorporate the.
So I can
those
still
pieces.
work with Farha
Yes,
if I want to order my items somewhere else,
right.
but not with your distributors.
Mm-hmm.
So we can still
But
work.
then,
So how does
then
that
the
work?
responsibility falls completely on you.
Okay.
I do not have any.
So now you're
control
no
over-
longer liable for
Right.
what happens.
I just work
am.
it into the design. I
Okay.
do not take responsibility if it's damaged. It's their responsibility
Right.
to return it and take care of it themselves.
And I think that's important for consumers to know as well, because we have consumers who feel that if they do not order with us,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot be a client,
Yeah, that's not true.
right?
Yeah.
So this is key for them to know that they can still work with you, the
Mhm.
designer,
Yeah.
even if the items are coming in from a total different source.
True.
So, okay, so that happens. They do all their ordering, their
Mhm.
items come in. You just go in and do the design itself,
Right.
like
Yeah.
the style out and stuff like that with
Exactly.
their items.
Mm-hmm.
Would you incorporate your own ideas for accessories, or
I would, yeah.
yeah?
That is, again, that's all at the time of presentation or before.
So you do accessories at presentation.
Yes. I
Wow.
bring it all together because I do let them know that if necessary, I will bring it for photo shoot purposes, and they are free to purchase them.
So
But-
so that's interesting. So, I didn't know that.
Because, in my opinion, that's the package that they're looking for.
Okay.
That's what the expectation has been with all of the people that I've worked with so far. Where
So you bring the accessories.
Mhm.
You purchase them totally
Mm-hmm.
to do the staging of the home.
Mm-hmm.
And if the client decides that they want to keep the pieces, they have to purchase it from you.
Right, and those are the ones that are extra on top of whatever
Okay.
they've already. That was
Got
part
it.
of their project.
Got it.
But if I feel that there's some more that are needed, those they're free to purchase.
Okay, got it. Got it. So then the time comes, furniture comes in, you schedule, how far do you schedule the style out, the finished product?
It all, depending on how many pieces how many spaces I'm doing also. So I like to give at least 4 or 5 hours or
Okay,
more,
okay.
depending on
For
how big or
installation.
small the space is and how much work is entailed in that space.
And do you always photograph your work?
I would like to, because I would like to show that's my marketing
Mhm.
source for gaining more clients. Like this is what I
Have
can
you ever
do.
gotten any pushback?
I have, yes.
Right.
But then that was more because they felt that they'll be, tagged or something like that. That was not the case. It just a home. They don't have to. They won't be mentioned in any way. And once that was established, they didn't have an issue after that.
So you get the product, you go, you do your style out, you
Mhm.
finish your process. Is there
Mhm.
any follow-ups that you do with your client after that? Like
Mhm.
you go into their home to follow up to see if everything is going good. Did they like all the pieces? Is everything working for them?
Right. This is when I walk them through the space. That is when they let me know what it is that they're liking and what it is that they're not liking, and maybe would like to change.
Okay.
They didn't visualize it when I was presenting it,
Mhm.
or
Is that an extra charge or is that within
that
it?
is an extra
It
charge.
is. It is.
Yes.
So reworking the accessorizing part of it is an extra charge.
Yeah. Because,
Okay.
I mean, that takes time to source and
Okay.
bring in and
Okay.
put in. So yeah.
So before we go over a few points that we did today, because I really believe that this is key. And like I said, I cannot speak for every designer,
True.
right? I can only give my opinion on what I feel our community needs from us as designers. And as much as we are professionals and this is our business, I solely believe that it's up to us to really educate our consumers
Yes, I believe so,
about our services
true.
and how it works.
Mhm.
I say this all the time, if they don't know better, they can't do better, right?
Yeah.
So I just want folks to know on who's watching, our network of people. Someone might be seeing this and, might try to reach out to you. Where can they find your information? Tell us where you're located, tell us your website, what social media platform are you on? Just tell us how to find Farha Syed Designs.
Through my website, for one thing, which is farhasyeddesign.com, and my Facebook page, my Instagram. These two are the most used social media platforms that I use, and through my blog, you'll get to understand who I am, what it is that I offer you, and basically learn what I have to offer you in terms of should I put this? to some extent the process, to some extent how they're losing out by not using a client designer. Um, and making costly mistakes, and then once they do that, then they're calling the designer to help them out because they didn't do that in the first place.
Right, right. So guys, you hear how you can get in contact with Farha. Like I said, every designer works different. That does not mean that you're not going to get the same results. We all strive for homes to be beautiful.
Yeah.
We love to turn a house into a home. Check
And
her
to
out.
serve you the way your lifestyle works.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah. Check her out, guys, on her webpage. Visit her on Facebook, Instagram. Are you on Twitter as well?
I am, but I don't use that as much. These two-
LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, I am on
Okay.
LinkedIn, yes.
She's on LinkedIn as well. So, Farha, before we even go over these points, is there anything that you would like to say about our discussion today and how we can better relate?
I think it was a very informative session, and hopefully they will understand how each of us brings different skill sets and helps them through our expertise, and brings them value for value in the sense that we're taking care of them and their home, making sure everything is taken care of behind the scenes, and delivering that home that they've been wishing to have, and hopefully exceeding their expectations.
So, guys, today we had a really nice discussion about the common notion that our consumers have, that designers are a wasteful expense, right? And we simply all we do is pick paint and fabrics, which, guys, is not true. Like I said, I didn't sleep yesterday.
Yeah, it's
I was
fun, but then
I was at a client's house trying to complete a job. You see the glam, you see the glitz, you see all that icing on the cake when the finished product, but you don't see the back of everything that happened. And most of the times, the blood, sweat, and tears that we put in, because of our passion, because we love what we do, right? It shows.
Mhm.
It just doesn't happen overnight. It's not an overnight process, I'm sorry to tell you. I know most of us do feel that it is an overnight process, but it takes time.
it takes time, and then when our clients are excited about their space, and they have that smile on their face, that is fulfilling. Like, yes, I did my job, I did deliver what I had promised, and they're
Correct.
loving it.
Correct.
So that's what we strive to achieve.
Correct. So what we bring to the table is valuable. Our worth is valuable. We are not, this is not a hobby for
definitely
us.
not a hobby.
It is
No.
not a hobby. The misconception that it is needs to be thrown out the window. It is a business. We are professionals, and we do treat our business like professionals. We are here to inform our consumers of how our business runs, and how you can actually go in and research to either reach out to one of the designers. We have many in Raleigh, we have a lot in
Yeah.
Durham, we have a lot in Cary.
Mhm.
If you have any questions, give someone a call, have a conversation, find out how their process works
and then-
before you even come up with the notion that you cannot afford. No, we are just here to pick paints and fabrics. So I would let Farha close us off because she has a few things to say about the misconception of what people really think. And I know this is a topic that is very near and dear to her, so I'm going to have her close us out. My name is Derry Washington. My company is Tranquil Designs LLC. We are located in Raleigh, North Carolina. The address is 308 West Millbrook Road, Suite F. I have been in business for 9 years, and I have just moved to North Carolina 2 years ago, and I love, it's a passion of mine. I love what I do. I do not take it lightly. It is a business. It is a professional business, and I put the work in, and I just ask that you value what we do as professionals, and you take into consideration, please don't judge us before you set up a consultation or even a phone call, just to get to know who you're hiring or get to know us as a person.
True.
So, Farha.
As Terry said, you get to know us, and I may not be your designer, and there's so many in the area who you can contact and see who understands your vision for your space, what it is that they're looking for. You're bound to find somebody who would help you through the, take your hand and just walk you through till the end and make the space a representation of yourselves, step by step. So that's basically
A
it.
representation of yourself. You hear
Exactly.
that? Farha Syed Design, guys. We thank you so much. Today was a great discussion.
Finally happened.
We are really excited that Farha did get to sit on this sofa in the hot seat. We will be inviting Farha sometime again for a different topic. But thank you so much for joining us, and until next week, Wednesday, please tune in. You wouldn't want to miss it. I am Derry Washington, and this is Farha Syed signing out. Thank you.
Thank you.